All right. Hello everyone. Um, so yeah, so wanted to show you guys some highlights from the Olympiad. Yeah, and let's start with round one. There's an interesting game. We have 24-78 playing with White against 22-73, and White has just played this move between. Question is, how would you react to that move? Right, Liam Liu has it. All right, very good. Looks like Vishwa got it, Sasha got it. Yep, very good. Yep. Yes, black to play, yes. Yeah, so the idea is yeah, a takes b4, queen c6. Yes, that's why even in a simple position like that, when you play a simple move like b4, you have to always be extremely careful, right? Like you have to make sure that you don't allow some random uh, tactical opportunity like that, right? Because even in a simple position, you can run into some unexpected tactical opportunity. And now, yeah, black is winning. All right. The next one is we had almost a sensation where we had um, Aronian almost losing to 2100 player. Um, all right. Um, so, white to move. What is the best idea here? I don't know about everyone saw this already. I think from what I'm seeing some wrong answers. So several of you want to play knight d6, but knight d6, yeah, with the idea of takes, of course. But then he takes with the knight. So then, then you start asking yourself, okay, well, what if I remove the knight? How do I remove the knight? And then we have idea g4, knight d6. So yeah, whereas everything else is not working as well. Like d4, I could take, right? Knight of 6, I could probably take as well, right? But yeah, g4, white is more or less winning. Now, the interesting part was later, right? Because Aronian did win the game. He made a comeback. So it was, important to see how white could have converted better. So queen b7, um, g takes f5, bishop takes f5, d4, bishop g4. Uh, Okay, so we have a critical moment here. Um, how do you think white should play? So far, that side, that Asai got it, Vishpa got it, Samuel got it, Owen got it. Um, like, okay, in this position, pretty much almost everything wins, right? Almost every simple move wins. But there's a pretty nice move here, um, d5, and this is the easiest, right? Because after this, that's 96, and if queen c8, here, takes, and white wins. Yeah, so this just crushes completely. Yeah. Um, and maybe b5 they could try, but yeah, then 96, then takes, then here. Yeah, so d5 was like the easiest way to win. I mean, the other moves also probably win, but d5 is probably the one that's the most simple and straightforward. So white instead played knight d2, cd, knight b3, castles, c takes, king b8. Here, um, yeah, here. All right, and now knight f1, mistake. All right, what should black play now? So here the answer is yes, b5. So c5 would not work because rook takes h3. Yeah, so the best move is b5, queen a5, bishop b4, takes c5, and yeah, and then you could try rook h3, and then this position is still better for white, but this would be better chances for white to still win. But yeah, instead white just I think yeah, white just played knight a5, and okay, they played the endgame, which okay, eventually Aronian won after many moves. So pretty big comeback for Aronian, which goes to show a lesson that when you have a winning position, it's important to be very precise in the beginning, right? Otherwise, little by little, you could kind of spoil the advantage, and then you give them like practical chances. All right, the next one is another. This one actually did, happen to be an upset where we have a player even under 2,000 FIDE almost beat Igmamediarov, ended up drawing him. And he played the opening really nicely. Played the early middle game nicely. He knew the structure quite well. Here played black, played bishop f5, 92, h5, bishop d3, 92, castle, castle, rook e8. Yeah, now white plays this very nice move, rook a2, preparing the rook to go e2. A very typical plan. And then cd, knight a5, bishop c3, bishop here, e4, takes 6, rook d8. And black thought they have things under control, but actually they didn't. And white found a very nice move here, which probably Mamidyarov missed. So how does white play here? All right, so looks like I see some people have it. Samuel, Liam, Owen, Vishwa, Vihan, Freya. Yeah. So far, yeah, everybody's getting it so far. Rook c2, then probably b5, and if we play bishop c5, yeah, it's also not bad, but okay, I can go knight b6 or something. Yeah. So the best move is knight d5, pressure, threatening this, and it takes e takes d5, right? And white is crushing here. Black had to go knight h5 because give up the exchange because everything else is even worse. Like if you take on d5, I take back, and you can't protect both the queen and the rook. Yeah, and in the end, white ended up not being able to win. Yeah, he took a draw in a position where he was still winning, but okay, yeah, he wanted to secure at least a draw against the top player, but still goes to show that even these lower rated players can be quite a bit dangerous. All right, let's take a look. Okay, what else we have here? Then we have this. Yeah, the topic is about highlights from Olympiad, different calculation exercises. Also, I really like this example. Just gonna get to the position. This is like an interesting calculation exercise. So here we have a pretty obvious choice, queen d2 or queen e3. So the question is, do we play queen d2 or queen e3? Why? Give the whole variation. That's important, whole variation. Um, all right, looks like Sasha got it. Let's see who else. Let me just scroll up. Murad Khan got the first part, but there's still a key move missing in the variation. Okay. Sarthak, yeah, you gave good line, but like after instead of king h6, they can play king h8. So let's call on Sasha to explain the answer. Actually, Sasha, do you want to unmute?
You have to play queen d2 instead of queen e3, because after king h7, knight g5, king h8, queen d8, and then knight g8. You can play queen e8. If
Yeah.
they play like something like queen g4, then you can possibly rook d8. Oh wait, no.
Yeah, here is a very beautiful finish actually in this position. Which I don't know if it's the only move, but it's very beautiful. Queen takes g8, and then rook d8. I'm actually wondering if it's the only way actually to win here. Let's check. Yeah, it's actually the only way to win, because if you go rook d8, there's rook c1. But yeah, very good variation, Sasha. Still very good calculation. Yeah, because seeing queen e8 is not easy from far away, right? Like a lot of people miss that. For example, 96, you can play rook f7. And that's the main difference. That's why, yeah, queen e3 doesn't work, because after this, here you can't go queen e8. And after this, now your rook has to move away from first rank, means black gets like a lot of counterplay. So that's why, yeah, it's the queen d2. Yeah, queen e8. Yeah, and then they played queen e8. Yeah, queen g4 would be queen g8, right? So after this, white just wins. Yeah, so it's a very nice, I think, calculation exercise. Okay, now let's take a look at Tanya Sachdev against Alice Lee. Uh, yeah, this is a match India against US, the women division. Mhm. Yeah, the game was very interesting. Alice a little bit misplayed it. Now white has a pretty good attack. Yeah, and now black played g6. So, yes, so let's try to find a variation that's best for white. Yeah, please don't just give one move. I mean, you guys are too good players to just give one move in a position like that. So, give a variation, please. All right, Owen, that's Owen Xu. This is what Tanya played, but there was a defense. Um, yeah, several people giving the same line, but yeah, this is what white played, and there, black was able to spot a very important defense. So there are two main candidate moves which people are looking at, which are bishop takes g6, the most obvious one, and also e6. So the question one, which one is better and why? Now, if you're going to play e6, you have to calculate g takes f5. What happens after g takes f5? If you're suggesting bishop takes g6, then you have to figure out what to do after fg, queen g, and I think it's king h8. Yeah. Oh, also, okay, Wesley suggested g5. G5's also interesting. We'll check that move as well. Um, it's neither the move that was played, neither the top engine choice, but maybe it's also interesting and not bad. Okay, so let's take a look at bishop takes g6 first, since that's the move that was played. Here, obviously, king h8, because bishop g7 is pretty sad, right? Like knight f5, bishop h6. So king h8, and now e6. And this was this is what happened in the game. But here, Tanya, when she calculated this line, she stopped here, and she missed Oh, who's on? Oh, unmute, please. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. So the question is, how does Black survive here? Defend. Um, do we play? Black has only one move to save. The best move is an unclear position. Objectively equal. Everything else, white is like +4 or better, winning. So there's only one way to survive here. Yeah, not an easy defense, but Alice, to her credit, found it. And Alice in general is like a very resilient player. And we'll see like another game, Arena against Vantika, and you'll see that it wasn't quite the case in Arena's game. But Alice is a very resilient player. She's capable of finding those only moves very often. So I see a lot of people are saying Bishop D3, but Bishop D3 takes. I'm pretty sure it's just first of all, Queen D3 is a big advantage. Second of all, yeah, there's even apparently this move, threatening Bishop F6, and after this it's like H4. So yeah, it's like yeah, and if this, then Knight F5 apparently. Um, so Bishop G7 is another suggestion people gave, but yeah, then G5 is apparently crushing. Maybe not the only move, but like one of the moves, yeah. Okay, looks like Murad Khan has gotten the answer. So why don't you go ahead and share with us, Murad Khan?
Um, I think the move is Queen B7
Mhm.
because if it tried to go Bishop E5, there's Bishop G7, Queen takes H6, and just King G8, and I don't see a clear way of an
Yeah,
attack.
and in fact there is not. Yeah, White repeated moves and made it wrong, especially since Tanya was low on the clock. But objectively, at this point, she didn't have anything tangible. I mean, she could have played on, and like it would have been an unclear position, but it would not have been winning. Um, so Queen B7 was a very important defense. Rook E7, meanwhile, which a lot of people also suggested, then we have here a Knight F5. It's also a pretty lousy position for Black. So yeah, the only move to survive here is Queen B7. As you guys will see, everything else is +4 or higher, right? So Queen B7, strictly only move. And yeah, Alice found it, Tanya missed it, and as a result, Black survived that position. So the winning line was to play G5. Sorry, not G, maybe G5 also, but yeah, the winning line was E6. But the key question is what is BH? Because okay, that's the principal move. What now? Yes, we were gonna. Yeah, we'll check G5, of course. Um. Yeah, I mean here there. I think it's Rook G1 is good and GF is good. They're same idea. The key is this is not good because after this, uh, this position Black survives. Here there's just and now G5 there's H. So it's important not to take on f7. Play gf and then play rook g1, and here white is crushing. But again, it's not that easy to calculate, right? And it seems like, yeah, when bishop g6 looks like it's winning, when you don't see queen b7, it seems like you should go bishop takes g6, right? So this was like a piece of pretty difficult calculation, I would say. The first few were just warm-ups, but this one is actually pretty difficult. Now, Wesley, your move g5 is definitely not bad as well, right? Like it seems like white has a pretty large attack here going, but yeah, I mean it's probably not as strong as e6, but yeah, maybe they can go here and try to survive. But it's obviously after g5, I think white would have very good chances to win. Well, yeah, white went for the most tempting one, but that one was not so clear. Yeah, queen b7, very important resource. Okay, the next one is Arena Crush against Vanessa. This is the game that allowed India to tie 2-2. Here, black played a good move f5, just defending e4, stabilizing the position. Yeah, because if you go here, they can take, you have to take with a pawn and knight c4. So yeah, we have f5, knight f1, queen g6, bishop there. Yeah, now simply moving forward. Yeah, now critical moment. How do we continue attacking the best way? It looks like Sasha has gotten it. Um, looks like Liam has gotten it, Vishwa. Yeah, so the answer is knight f4, just crushing. Alice got it, yeah, like a lot of people got it, yeah. Takes, f3, yeah, now we play takes, then takes. Threatening rook e2, right? And so this is just winning. Yeah, if you play f4, it's not as easy because I think knight e3, and now if this knight e1, and if this, then queen takes e3. Okay, black played knight takes c1, mistake, followed by f4. And now white had a move to survive. Let's try to see if we can find it. Right, Owen found it. Owen Su. Ararat found it. Um, yeah, so the only way to survive here is king h1. Only move. If you go king h2 instead, takes queen g3 wins. If you take here, that's what happened in the game, but then e3, f5, queen g5. And here black was completely winning. and black won this game. And if white were to take on d5, then you can even play f3 in the free move. Yeah, and if you play f3 here, then knight takes e3. It's also pretty bad for white, right? Because we have queen takes g2 and all that stuff. Yeah. So anyway, let's keep going. Even shook against Rapport. This was a pretty interesting game. Okay, so let's look at this one first. All right, so white to play what to do. I think part of it was theory, but I think at this point black messed up because white has an advantage here. Yeah, this position definitely deserves more than just one move. So if it's a one move solution, I will just ignore it here. Oh, okay, sorry. Hopefully it's better now. Yeah, sorry, I was speaking softly. I was a bit slanted. Okay. Hopefully this is better now. All right, so several of you are saying bishop takes f7, bishop takes f7, rook takes f7, rook d8, but rook f8, and where's the win? Queen d5, e6. And yeah, I don't see the win for white. Yeah, queen d5, e6, bishop h6. That's an interesting line, but could maybe even go here. Also can give queen b1 check, potentially. And then this. It also seems unclear, yeah. And then if you take here, like you can give a check, but then the king runs away. And if you take king g8, then now black will have counterplay. So long story short, yeah, bishop f7 does not work. I mean, it's enough for a draw, but so the winning move is bishop h6, which I'm sure both players have seen. And then we have knight d3 check, king d2, and now most likely Rapport was afraid of this. I gave him some type of that's because a lot of people already gave answers, so it's a little hard. But okay, that's fine because let's try to find the best move here. Yes, I also want to get through more examples, but trying to find the right balance here. But yeah, I think probably when you calculated until around here, and he might have thought, okay, this position looks unclear, looks like black's having an attack. But here white has like several ways to survive here. And one particularly good one. Okay, so which Sartak has found. Bishop f7 and queen d5, I think I can just move knight f6 or so. Oh, you want to play queen d8 maybe? But queen d5, maybe rook d8 then. All right, so it looks like Santosh has found it. Yeah, bishop f7, rook f7, queen d5. I can play e6, I can play rook d8. I think I have ways to survive there. King e4 and run. Yeah, I think king e4 is also good, actually. Yeah. So yeah, the main two moves are either rook b4, rook e4. Okay, rook e4 is also interesting. But then I think knight c5 and the king will be pretty. But yeah, the best move is rook b4. Yeah, knight c5, king c4. And here, king e4. And the king runs away. So the best move is rook b4. King e4 is also interesting. In which case, the only defensive move is e5. And black is fine. Everything else loses. Otherwise, the king escapes. So it's a very crazy position. And I think it's quite possible that Ivanchuk saw this position and didn't see clearly and rejected it. It's also possible he was thinking knight e7, but then it's fine for white. So yeah, it's very complicated, right? Like bishop h6 is a pretty obvious move, but like seeing the whole thing, that's why I don't like it when you guys just give one move, right? In a position like that, it's just like a little bit like unfair to the game of chess to give a one move solution in a position like that. I think if however, if Ivanchuk did not see it all the way through, safe option would have been queen e2, just offering a queen trade, and white is slightly better in endgame with the bishop pair and without too much risk. But instead, Ivanchuk played a4, which is a little bit of a strange move. And then, of course, black started to attack. Yeah, and here, maybe Ivanchuk underestimated black's next move, which was pretty strong. So what should black play here? Black to play here. Yeah, so the answer is knight a6, yes. I don't know if it wins, but like, yeah, it's knight d7 is less good, right? Rook d4, bishop f7. Yeah, so it's possible that he only calculated the move knight d7 here, but maybe overlook knight c4. Yeah, and then after this, suddenly this position got very sharp. And then before you know it, knight b8 was also a nice move. Black took over the initiative and was able to win a nice game. All right. Let's take a look at the next example, and that is going to be Loom Tianmin, also known as Wonderful Time online, is a pretty famous blitz player. And he was able to actually play his strong opponent, Vietnam. He's from Vietnam, and actually Vietnam on this match beat last year's winners, Uzbekistan. And the funny thing about this one was that Uzbekistan was coached by Kramnik, and Kramnik was like the one who, was a little suspicious of Le Min's games online, and here he got him in person also in a big tournament. So it's kind of a funny uh, thing. But yeah, anyway. So it's white's move. What should white do here? White to move. Yeah. Yeah, so bishop takes e7, d5. Yeah, if king here, then I think knight here, knight c5, and if king there, boom, check. And boom, check. Yeah. And white wins, right? King f8, rook g8, and here white hits. All right, now the game Ivan Shuk against Wesley Stone. All right, so white to move. What to do here? Yeah, so here rook d7. Rook b7 is very important. Because if you go rook d7, I don't think you're winning. Because then, yeah, I can play e5, e4, right? You need to keep the rook on 8th rank to keep the mating net idea. So rook b7 is very important. Black played rook e5, kind of the best try because otherwise king g7, just rook d7 now. Yeah, and then after this move, rook f7, and black played g5. And here, here in this position, white found a winning idea. It's not so difficult, but it's a pretty nice finishing touch, which Andrew found. Oh, and Sue found it. H5. Yes, H5, King takes, and now no, I don't think it's Rook G7. I think it's Rook F6 only. Yeah, actually H5. Okay, King G2 also maybe. Well, King G2 might be a repetition. Yeah, yeah, Rook G7 is King H6, right? But yeah, you have to seal the king. And now Black's only defense from mate is giving up the rook for knight, but it's hopeless, so eventually resign. All right, now we're gonna take a look at two very nice games that was played. One of them was Ladici Lorenzo outplaying Anish Giri. Pretty nice way. This one was like a very interesting pawn stack. As you could see at 25-56. Yeah, yeah, Queen C2, Knight H5, E4. A lot of it was prepped, by the way. Yeah, and here I'm curious what you guys would play here in this position. All right, so we have Queen G4, we have E5, Bishop H6, Bishop takes H7, Queen takes H6. Okay, we have a lot of suggestions for this one. A lot of different suggestions. F4. Wow, you guys suggested lots of different moves. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at each one of them. All right, let's start with Queen takes. Let's start with Queen takes G6 because Queen takes G6 is like a very tempting move, which a lot of lower rated players suggest because it's just like a tactic that gets back the pawn. But the thing is, okay, we got the pawn back, congratulations. But like, remember, we sacrificed the pawn early on, right? And when we sacrifice a pawn early on, we should be thinking, okay, let's play with the initiative, right? We shouldn't just be thinking, okay, let's try to get the pawn back as soon as we can. Okay, in some cases you do want to get the pawn back, but like not in a position like this where basically you have a bunch of weaknesses now, and black is like very easy to play, and black will be like very comfortable in the endgame, right? So yeah, it's important to keep track of position. So yeah, like when you're playing an opening where you're sacking a pawn early on, or whatever, exchange a piece for a couple of pawns, it's important to kind of be willing to play with initiative and be willing to play down material for some time, as long as you have activity, as long as you have pressure. Um, yeah. So rook takes h7, however, yeah, doesn't work, right? Because now the other moves you guys suggested are all very interesting. So let's take a look. Bishop h6 was what white played. E5 is also a very good alternative, although I think what Luigi do not want to allow is castles here. And then maybe it's like not so easy. Now the other moves, I don't know which other moves were suggested. I think Queen G4, but I think Queen E7 doesn't help us a ton. Yeah, and I think I don't know. I don't see any other. Yeah, I don't know if I missed something, but oh yeah, F4. Yes, F4. Yeah, still Queen E7, right? So yeah, we want to play energetically. So H6 stopping castle or E5. Yeah, Rook H7. I already explained that, right? It doesn't work. Um, yeah. So yeah, so white played this, and yeah, black played rook g8, which was not the best. Should have gone here. Yeah, and then came e5, and before you know it, white obtained a huge initiative to the point that black wanted to untangle, but yeah, he didn't untangle in the best way. white just invaded them, and the rest of this game was pretty much over. All right, last but not least, I want to show you guys a brilliancy by Arjun Yerigaisi, who had the third win, one of the best turns of his life. He's like on a great run, almost broke 2800. And here he's playing against solid grandmaster Peter Prohaska from Hungary. Yeah, he and Gukesh, they're like crushed the competition to help India dominate. Now at G4, interesting move, 94. All right, so now first important moment. What do we do about the move 94? A lot of you want to take the pawn, but if you take the pawn, then I'm going to go knight f6, right? And then get a lot of counter. G5 takes the takes take from G5. Maybe even bishop e6 better, right? So this is not what you not what you want. Yeah, this, then yeah, maybe something like knight b6, queen d5, and yeah, so on and so forth. Yeah, so the best move is just h4, just ignoring this knight. That was the first point, right? Not being materialistic, right? Very important lesson. Okay, rook e8, g5, f5. Now, of course, you have to take because otherwise the knight on e4 will be an anchor. Takes. Knight g5, challenging the knight. And only now he takes because now he keeps this very important bishop on d3 as an attacking piece. We have bishop e6, rook g1, bishop 6 castles, queen e7, bishop g6, rook d8, bishop c3, a5, bishop 5, bishop takes a2. Okay, critical moment here. How should white continue? Looks like Sarthak has gotten it. Yeah, if you play b3, then queen a3 is a bit annoying. d5. Okay, d5 is interesting, but then rook takes d5. e4 is interesting, then maybe b5. Some counter. But yeah, e4 is pretty good too. But yeah, rook g6 is crushed her. And there's a very specific reason for it. Because let's say black would have played bishop f7. What would white's idea be? This is like critical. Very nice start, Sarthak. Yes, of course, rook f6, yes. And yeah, white has a pretty nasty initiative here. d5 next move, queen h4 kind of forced, g1, and yeah, white is significantly better here. Okay, it's not the most obvious, but like, yeah, long story short, white is better. So black played rook f8. White played rook g1, king h8. And now how do we continue here? I don't know, rook h6 and then rook g6. I don't think it quite works because rook f7. Uh, but yeah, e4 is crucial. E4, e5, rook f7. Now, the queen d2 was a nice move. Okay, it's maybe not the only move. Yeah, e5 is also pretty good, but yeah, queen d2 is good. Queen f8. Um, d5 now, very important resource, opening up the queen to defend the bishop. C takes d5. How should white continue here? Okay, rook g7 also works, yes. But rook h6 doesn't work because then here I think we're defending. But yeah, rook g7 works nicely, yeah, because bishop takes queen h6. And if this one, queen h6, bishop e6. So yeah, this one works. If queen takes, yeah, this is also crushing, yeah. No, but this one doesn't work as well. This. But yeah, e5 is good. Yeah, and then black played there. And now, okay, e6, rook f6. Okay, here everything wins, more or less, but here white found a pretty nice way. Not immediately, I think, because the queen's still on f8, protects. So we have to still be careful. Yes, exactly. Ararat, yeah. You got Zach. Okay, Sartak, yeah, very good. It's getting it now. Yeah, we should play e7 first. Because if we take an h6 now, I think, well, okay, I guess you could technically play e7 next move, but yeah, play e7 first. And okay, black. Narod black decided to allow really nice queen takes h6. Yeah, queen takes h6. She takes here. Yeah, Peter Brasco was kind enough to allow mate on the board after this beautiful attacking game by Arjun Erigaisi. Okay, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed some of these interesting games. I didn't end up showing all of them, but it showed the most important ones. Yeah, so hopefully you all enjoyed class, and I'll see you all in next one.